ofta jag är så här pigg så här tidigt. Det är
verkligen alltså. Det får en bra jetlag den här gången.
Ja, satt upp rätt håll liksom. For a lot of brands, I think it's hard for them to grasp that, like, brands on internet that actually succeeds, they do a lot of mix of everything. One video can be a PR thing at the same time as it's marketing, sales, and social media content.
Joining us now is Johnny von Wallstrom, the director of The Pearl of Africa.
So finally the film is on Netflix. I'm super fucking happy it's done. We're traditionally making stuff, new stuff all the time. For every channel we have to make things independently. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's the way to go in the future. I think that the best way that you as a brand can really do stuff today, it's to build a whole concept, like a greater concept, like a documentary or a film or any big story. And it should probably be your story, like as a brand maybe, or it should be something that's related to that. But if you have that, then start documenting that.
Yalla. Don't worry. I've been using it for 7 years.
Do you get stuck?
No, I've never got stuck. I'll tell you something funny about this elevator.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, people, okay, this is gonna sound weird. Because once I got into this elevator and there was a weird smell. Back then I didn't know what it was, but apparently someone was masturbating in it.
I've never dreamt about going for surgery, but at last I have to do it, or else my papers won't read differently, or else I won't be able to have a family with my fiancé.
And if you are a brand that does, for instance, gels, I've worked with Morten, which does exactly this. They have on board the best marathon runners in the world, the ones that wins the world records. So having those influencers, that should trickle down, right, to sales. It doesn't necessarily do that. Maybe that doesn't translate to the community that actually is buying stuff. You need to get the community involved in a different way today. You can, of course, inspire and, for instance, do a doc about these famous world athletes, and that's also gonna get shared and people will get inspired by that. But they could just as well get inspired by the people that are the community themselves. So build stories around whatever is essential to what you stand for and what you want to sell, essentially, as a lifestyle. Build something around that. So let's say we make a doc about ultra marathon runners maybe. So you follow them for a course of a couple of months or something. If you do that properly, if you have a thought about it, if you make one feature film or one web series or whatever it is, all that material and work that you put in, it could just be like a month's time in terms of production. If you put all that effort in, that could tickle into maybe 2 years at least of content for your social media and brand building. You shouldn't see them as separate. You should focus on one project being, your whole narrative for the coming years. You should build something around one story that you then work and get the people engaged in, because it takes time to get people involved in something. So don't just make one-off, like short commercial stuff, because you can do that from that material. If you shoot a whole series of things for a month or for 2 months or even for a year, if you do that, you have material that you can reuse for the short commercials, for the spots on Instagram, for the Facebook ads, for even your TV ads. But do not do it as separate things. Like, bring all your resources together. That's the way you should do it. It doesn't make sense to do it any other way, to me. Big rant, But this is like crucial if you want to succeed with content creation. Everybody knows this that does YouTube or any social media stuff. You need to get so much out of your efforts, otherwise you can't be consistent. You should aim to upload at least like 5 times a week. If you're on Instagram, at least once a day. So it's really hard if you're always depending on coming up with new projects and not generating enough from the projects you have. It doesn't make sense, not at all. So get your shit together, because that's the only way you will, get stuff made.
This was